If you're new here, welcome, and to my regular fan base, welcome back. So, in this live video, in this live video, there's a big victory that's just commenced. I'm going to jump straight into the voice recording. This is only half an hour long, and let's begin.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
Well, I think, how do I answer that question honestly? Since we've just come out of Christmas, and it's my first Christmas away from my son. But I did use the time alone to think a lot, and I did do a lot of research pertaining towards parental alienation and the staggering detrimental effects that it has on the child, especially when innocent wrong accusations have been made. And I'm going to prove it in court, by the way. Okay. So, and I know what I'm doing now. I've been educated. I understand you've been flagged. You flagged up some concerns towards a lot of emails I sent. This is true. In order to promote transparency and accountability, I did do a lot of research on statistics, on stats, on how parental alienation really affects the child detrimentally. I did screenshots, a lot of pictures of me and my son, and I, in turn, to showcase and to prove yet again that I'm a good father, I sent many pictures of me and my son to Emily's email and others alike. Elaine to the courts. Yes, I understand I've been messaging Elaine a lot, but I'm a firm believer in accountability, and it doesn't have to be threatening accountability. It can be awakening accountability. It can be where people have wronged you, and everybody's wronged me, and I'm just want to just open eyes towards the fact that I care. Many men would have been walked away by now. On my Facebook groups, I've been talking to former solicitors who have advised me how to conduct myself. I'm not going to have a solicitor anymore. I'm very capable of defending myself, and I've been told such I should do this by Facebook groups I've joined, people I've spoken with, individuals who've given me exponential confidence, because I haven't lied. Every time I've never lied, I've always been accountable. And try to look at what role I played negatively. And the judge will hear that in my statement. My voice will be heard, I can assure you both. And this is what people are scared of. And I've got a very powerful statement now. And as from tomorrow, I will have no solicitor. So that's one of the reasons why, sorry I've talked a lot, but this is one of the reasons why I asked for this meeting. Let me shut up, pause. Is there anything you want to say?
Sorry about the phone, I put it on silent.
I'll come in. Hi, I know we've met before.
Hi Jennifer, how are you?
The manager. I'm good, thank you. Good. We wanted to, obviously Emily knew that you'd wanted to have a meeting, but also we wanted to have a meeting because what we have to do is talk you through what Emily will be putting to the court on behalf of the local authorities. So it's the local authorities plan that will be set out in the statement and care plans. That will be filed with the court soon, which you will then have access to that. But it's good practice for us to obviously let you have a heads up on what we're presenting to the court and why, and what then that gives you time to think on what you want to do, and giving you as much time and notice on that as possible. So that's part of why we're here. I do have to say as well, and I know it's just because everything's really busy as well at this time of year, I do have another meeting at 5, so we do need to kind of make sure that we finish by 5. Because I've got another meeting then of an urgent matter that came up, otherwise we could have carried on a bit. And I know that obviously what I want to do is make sure we give you the information that we want to give to you. If there's anything you want us to take on board, that's absolutely fine, that's great. But otherwise, I understand what you're saying is that you're putting together your own statement as well, which is great. I mean, I do think one thing I would say is that it's obviously entirely up to you whether you have a solicitor involved on your behalf or not. That generally it can be a lot easier for you to have someone speaking for you, and they are instructed by you. They should be carrying out your instructions. If you feel they're not doing what you ask them to do, then that's something you can take up with them, because a solicitor should be acting in accordance with your instructions. So it's just to put that out there for you, because what I don't want is you to be in a position where you potentially are disadvantaged, but it's entirely up to you.
See,
it's entirely up to you.
On the first of all, I appreciate that. Second of all, on the surface, you are correct, but I'm in a minority where I'm a diamond in the rough. And what I mean by this is people have doubted me my entire life. I use that doubt and I flip it. And it's a big advantage to me. And now, I'm very real with myself, okay? I call myself out when I'm rubbish at. So, for example, technology, I'll be the first to admit I'm no good at that. I'm good at the basics, or I'm satisfactory at the basics. But I'm much more of a, so my technology is very bad. However, in this nice new world we live in, we find a kind, nice way to say everything, but it's like, no, you're not being real. I'm real with myself, so I call myself out with what I'm rubbish at, but however, what I excel at, I also bring myself up. Speaking is one of them. Face-to-face interaction is another one. This is a superpower of mine. Maybe it's because I'm neurodiverse, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm very real and I pride myself on accountability and purity and truth. I sleep well at night, I don't lie. And I can't wait to put my statement forth to the judge. But I want to make this clear. I want to take you both back. So scratching at the surface. On the surface you're correct, Jennifer, but scratching at the surface, I feel that I've absolutely got it within my speaking capabilities, as well as my body, how I put forth my statement, keeping it strictly focused on contact, as I was instructed. And I want to make one thing perfectly clear, and this is my secret sauce. This is my advantage. I don't care. I couldn't care less about coming across the best way. I care about coming across in a real way, okay? I am going to say the truth. On the statement I'm going to put forth, I won't just blame shift and deflect like everybody else. I'm going to be real and really give an even kill view as to where I went wrong. For example, my attitudes. I firmly feel that I failed the majority of these tests. Not so much what I was saying, it was my attitudes behind what I was saying, in addition to being emotionally exhausted. You know the reasons why for that. We won't go there. This is one of the upon many reasons why I asked for a fresh start. But, at the end of the day, I do believe I well got it within my capabilities to come across strongly in court. Now, with all this said, I can't stress this enough. Yes, my attitude was bad or exponential mammoth proportions. It was. I do believe absolutely, like parenting assessment-wise, yeah, I'm not saying I got everything right, but I think majority speaking I got right. I think I was failed due to my attitudes and me being emotionally exhausted. That's what I think. People say, oh, we're professional. That's BS, man. That's BS. No one can read your minds. And if someone doesn't like you, and I understand accountability, how I was coming across, right? I'll be the first to admit, right? To Emily as well. And I meant what I said last time. You should know me by now. I don't care about coming across. I don't kiss ass. Excuse my language. I don't suck up. I'm very real. So what I'm about to say to Emily should hold weight and credibility and authority based off of how bad my attitude was. Am I making sense? So when we had a meeting last time and I apologized to Emily, I actually did mean it. Minus the ghosting, and I understand it's political tactics when people have nothing on you, they want you to break. I get it. I've been educated as well on many Facebook groups of mine, and people have gone through family courts or going through it. I know the psychology behind it now. So, and you're just doing your job, and it's okay. But in terms of how I conducted myself with Emily, I generally did did, and I still do feel bad, because Emily had the experienced my anger and my wrath following the previous authority social worker, which will be flagged up in court, not this time around. I was educated, this has to be contact, strictly on contact, fair enough. In my final evidence, Abigail Doe. It's not every day you're accused of murder, having shotgun offences, and or having done murder, committing murder, shotgun offences, and having schizophrenia, right? Schizophrenia, murder, shotgun offences. 3 major big red flags right there. Not gonna lie, excuse my language, psychologically that really fucked me up. I ain't gonna lie to you. And I did carry a lot of anger. You can choose to deflect, and that's fine. But Emily, this is why I was very, my bad attitude was very bad. I meant what I said last time when I apologised. I did feel bad. Because Emily, minus the ghosting, which is part of the job, I understand, she is actually the best out of all the social workers who I've had so far. Joseph was like rubbish. Abigail was the worst, but Emily is, very professional. I will say that. But yeah, what I'm trying to say as well. So my point is that I should hold weight then. My point, because I've never cared about coming across good or well. All I care about is coming across real, right? To me, that apology was real. I didn't say it because I thought I'd just say it, or it makes me look good, like most people do. No, that's not who I am, right? And I think the judge will respect my authenticity, actually. This is one of the reasons why I've chosen to represent myself. Now, pause. Is there anything that you wish to put forth following what I've said?
Yeah, I mean, I think I respect your ability to represent yourself. That's absolutely fine. I think it's as long as you are, we will make sure that legal is aware. So obviously your lawyer will let legal know that they're not instructed by you, and that means our lawyers need to make sure that you are provided with dates of hearings and things like so they will need to manage that. So what we'll do is we'll put a note up to our legal team as well, just to let them know that this is something to expect, so that they're able to manage it, because the last thing we want is you not having the dates that you need for filing things in court by. So that's important that you get all of that information, and we don't hold all of that. We have some of the information, we get the court orders, but all of that's managed and held by our legal team. So I just want to make sure that they keep you in that loop as well.
Well, I really appreciate that. That'll bring me to my next point, the case link number, because what I don't want, and yes, call me paranoid, fair enough. I'll take you back again to reiterate. Former authority member Abigail Doe accused me of murder, having shotgun offences, having schizophrenia. Excuse me for being majorly paranoid. Number 1. Number 2, I don't want to be trapped by the LA, because I know how good I am defending myself. The authority, they know they've effed up, because I can prove everything, right? I want a link, a concrete link sent to me, and for the records, if it isn't, once I've dispelled the national legal team, I've got a deadline for that. The last thing I want is to be left in the dark and in the cold, and people can lie like everybody's lied so far, and that no link's been sent to me, then I can't defend myself. So for the record,
can I just check that you're asking for a link to the?
Absolutely, I am. Okay. And for the record, if nothing's sent, it's not a threat, it's a promise. I will be attending the court in person. Okay.
So
like I explained to you, we don't send those links, they come directly from the court. So what we can do is I can give your email address to our legal team to make sure that it's definitely got to the courts, but we as the social work team are not allowed to forward you that link. It has to come directly from the court.
Okay, so
before you get rid of your solicitor and your legal team, make sure that they have provided your email to the courts, and I can give your email to our legal team as well.
Well, I really
we can't send you that link.
I think
I appreciate that.
That will be for, so some of the court hearings might be that they're online and that's the link there, but I think you're talking about also the court documents.
Oh yeah.
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing? My team are not allowed to forward you that link.
Sorry about that.
It has to come directly from the court.
Okay, so
before you get rid of your solicitor and your legal team, make sure that they have provided your email to the courts, and I can give your email to our legal team as well.
Well, I really
we can't send you that link.
I think
I appreciate that.
That will be for, and that will be for. So some of the court hearings might be that they're online, and that's the link there. But I think you're talking about also the court documents, so the bundle they call it, which is all the.
Oh yeah, no, it's okay.
That's the part you were looking for.
I'm sorry to interrupt you because of time. We've already gone over 50 minutes. I still have a lot to say, but to your point with the bundle, yes, Ellie got in touch with me earlier on, and she attempted to send it, was unable to, so she's going to find another way due to the length of the bundle. I'm speaking fast because of time. So now all this stuff is out of the way, the pleasantries and both are in the cold open, like I suppose our front of how we're both, going to conduct ourselves in court. What I want to say at this point is that I'm not opposing. I'm not contact being suspended. You will hear the entire depths of the reason for this, why I feel this way. It's not just for me, it was also for my son. I could see him become psychologically damaged. I could see him every week telling Dada, haven't been to the park. It was making me more angry. And then was I bad for asking questions? On the surface, yes. But scratch at the surface, no. I care for my son's well-being and welfare. So you'll hear the full thing of that in the statement. But just so that we're clear, I'm not opposing me going to contact, nor do I want to fight anymore. I do have an excellent chance, as put forth in our last meeting when I wanted to make peace. I do have an excellent chance with no-win, no-fee firms, even Anne, the solicitor, or the former solicitor who left for a better opportunity for herself, names dropped to me or emailed me a place called Farley's, where I've been speaking to Farley's and submitted some voice recordings. They said it's deplorable how I've been treated and I could sue. I was speaking to other people like, voice recordings don't lie. That's why I do it every time. But then people say I'm crazy. But then I have to act this way because of all the lies. So anyway, now all that's out of the way. In spite of this, what is this doing to me by filing all the time? Even if I can sue, even if I can get justice for that, it's just going to take yet more of my energy. And I'm tired of being angry. I'm tired of, and rightfully so, I might add, I've been angry. And I think you know why. Deep down, you won't admit it probably, but I think you know why deep down. But at the end of the day, I'm tired of being angry. And I'm tired of fighting. And I'm choosing peace, not for other people. Sorry, that's a lie. I'm choosing peace for myself, but I'm especially choosing peace for Austin Murray. What I want, and what I'm going to propose is, don't give me an answer now, because there's only 11 minutes left and there's still a lot to say. But I'm going to tell you right here, right now, what I'm hoping for is that whenever that time might be, I'm hoping for, I'm not going to fight you in terms of contact. I am hoping, bare minimum, that I can at least do school runs and at least maybe have an online appointment. Don't say anything now because it's time, but I am hoping for that. Because an alienation from his dad after my son's lost his mum to COVID, countless times it's been proven that contact, nothing but joy, love, right? That's been proven so many times, right?
I know we're conscious of it, so I think what I'd like to be able to do is just to explain to you quickly what we would be proposing to the court, because that gives you that to work from.
Okay.
But what we're proposing, I'm sorry, Emily, do you want to talk, because my dog won't be quiet, sorry.
No worries. So, Mr. Murray, what we're proposing, so what's important for you to know is that this is a proposal that we put forward to the court. It's then down to a judge to make that decision as to what the right care plan is for Austin.
Okay.
But what we are recommending is that in light of the psychological, the psychiatric and the parenting assessment and the assessment that's been done of Maria, we're recommending that Austin remains in Maria's care under a special guardianship order. So that would mean that parental responsibility is shared between yourself and Maria.
Okay.
So it gives her some legal responsibility over Austin.
Okay.
But it's shared with you, but Maria's is overriding because she's the primary carer.
Okay, that's fair enough.
And then the other part was that just So, because this will probably answer your other part, but talking about contact. So, Emily, I'll let you carry on. Sorry.
So the other thing we would like to recommend is what's called a child arrangements order, and it details who a child should live with and who they should spend time with. So it's similar to what used to be known as a contact order.
Okay.
So we would like to put forward to the court that the courts grant this order stating that you continue to have contact with Austin on a fortnightly basis, but to begin with, we're going to recommend that that be virtual because of the concerns that have arisen recently. That can then be reviewed because we're going to recommend that Austin continues having a social worker under a child in need plan for at least 6 months, and that social worker would work with you, with Maria, with Austin to re-establish that contact and to rebuild it so that it can be more natural in the future.
Okay, that sounds good.
Does that make sense?
It makes
Do you have
sense.
any questions about it?
So I'd see Austin once every 2 weeks, correct?
Yeah, to
Just to
start
begin with, it would be virtually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's something.
Because we recognise what the part of what it is obviously we recognise there's been some issues and you've pointed out where there's been some concerns and impact on Austin of the contact at the moment.
Yeah.
But there's also positive relationship.
And without sounding cocky, I know of the positive, and I'm sorry to try, we haven't got much time left. Without sounding cocky, I know of the positive relationship with
and
myself.
so what we want to do is make sure that there is contact there for you.
And I appreciate that.
Because it's important that you see each other.
For Austin, forget about me.
It's important that is built upon so that you have more natural contact after that.
And may I please ask, how long until I could help out with school runs or have him in the community, my boy? Roughly.
That's exactly what the child in need plan. So that would mean Austin will still have a social worker for at least 6 months. And our hope is within that 6 months, how the contact is going would be reviewed. They would work with you, work with Mia, work with Austin to move towards something more natural, whether that is you having time with him in the community, whether that is you doing school runs. But those are things that would be discussed and it has to be looked at within that 6 months.
And there's absolutely no way of, because I want to do this to help out an elderly lady, 72 years old.
Understand that. Yeah.
So just so that we're clear, there's no way I can do this, correct?
Not right now. We're not recommending that. Just think that that's not to say that it's not an objective, because I think you're right.
It's about an elderly lady who might need help.
And supporting Maria and supporting Austin for it all to be positive. Absolutely. And so and it's about knowing and identifying what we need to work on together. So that's what it is, and that's why we're proposing that 6 month period.
So just so that we're clear, to make sure I understand correctly, there's 6 minutes left. I can see my son every 2 weeks via online, but that will be for 6 months, and is it until I actually see him in person? I've got to wait 6 months, correct?
No.
Oh, right. Okay.
This is the good part.
What we're saying is there will be a period of 6 months minimum that Austin will have a social worker. It might be that at the end of that 6 months, the social worker says, actually, I think there's still a need and there's still some work to do. But within that 6 month period, they will work with you and work with Maria to rebuild that relationship between the two of you.
Yes.
Because ultimately, we want you to be able to have that positive relationship with Austin, and we want you to be able to see him in a natural environment, whether that's at the park, at a restaurant, wherever that's going to be.
Yes.
We're just saying that to begin with, we need to build back up to that.
Yeah, and that's fair enough, and I respect that. And it should be noted, not to sound cocky, but I have been requesting mediation with Maria for years. Just so that I'm covered, But, and it was denied for years. But, and also, here's another thing for you, and you'll hear this in my statement. I refuse. So did I bring this on myself? Yeah, perhaps I did. And I did say take me to court. But you have to understand, or try to understand, I had been dealing with the 4.5 years at the Surrey Local Authority, beaten them numerous times. We did, me and my wife. They came to our they came to our place. We went to their offices in Leatherhead. And obviously when my wife passed away, it was just the when I moved here, I should say, not long after my wife's untimely passing, we had just passed, if you recall, the COVID second wave. I moved to December 22, for your information. So it was just past the COVID second wave, if you will. Or I think we're still in it, I can't remember. But so there was that. There was also moving to London, which I hated. I hate London. I prefer to be in Surrey where it's relaxed. I don't like London at all. But I did that, guess who for? For Maria and my boy. And, as well as that, parenting across generations. Very few people, and I love this quote, I've said this numerous times, very few people can lace my boots because I haven't walked in my shoes. Very fewer others will, will understand. And like, I have qualities only few can admire because most haven't experienced. Nearly all people haven't experienced. You've got a guy who grew up in care 4 to 18. You've got a guy who grew up in mental health before mental health was recognised. You've got a guy who's lived with all these issues. I can understand that, to be accountable from the authorities front. I can, right? But what I've got a problem with is how all the lies that have been told and how things have been done. I understand the local authorities' anger, perhaps, and do I bring it on myself? Absolutely, I did. But parenting across generations, here's another one for you. Nobody knows what that feels like unless you're in it yourself. I needed a break from, excuse my language, I needed a break from that shit. This is why I refused to work for LA, for your information. Yeah? And then that in turn gave loads of wrath towards me by Abigail Doe. First Joe said Abigail was the worst. So this is, I'm just saying, like, fairly, I keep myself accountable. No one would take that from me. No one would take my realness from me, my authenticity from me. I sleep like a baby at night because I don't lie. I'm very real. And anybody, if I've wronged people or if I've hurt people, I always try to be accountable for it. I've proven this numerous times. Others don't. So that's what I'm going to say there. And that's why I would take my part of the blame, if you will, why I refused to work for LA. But how it's been. So anyway, I just want a fresh start. If I wanted to, I could sue a lot of money. I've been told this, but it means that it's going to drag me more down with tension, anxiety. Moreover, most importantly, my son, right? Because it's going further and further by fighting all the time. Because you're the ones with the power, right? So I want to obviously see my son as soon as possible. I'd rather get on peacefully. Accountability. I will admit, I am somewhat using that as leverage. Because, I will admit that. But any father would. Just so that we're clear. It's 1 minute to 5 o'clock. Just want to say one more thing. Thank you for your time, by the way, ladies. Appreciate it. Okay? So yeah, long-term roadmap to peacefully work with the LA. This is an option, so we've covered that in this meeting, following our last meeting, correct? This is good. Maria to look after Austin whilst tests are being completed with a fresh attitude. I can see, do you know what I think? And I went with this. I think it's not so much my criminal record history, because it is to a certain degree. But I'll tell you what I think. Might be wrong, but my opinion is, first of all, 10 years, right? I've been charged. I think 3 years since I've been arrested, right? It's not so much criminal history. It's where I've come from, the issues I've been around, and my lack of life experience in the real world. The local authority won't say this though, because flip it. Here's a guy, 29 at the time. Maria, why do you think I've gone on record saying I don't like Maria, but I love her and I respect her? Why do you think I've gone on record saying this? Because she took me in with her daughter, right? She took me in to live with her and her daughter, I should say, because her daughter loved me. It was her house. Without Maria, I would either be dead in a mental hospital from succumbing to all these schizophrenia, heroin addicts I was living with, alcoholics, right? Or I'd be in prison. So Maria, she saved me, and her daughter did. I've always wanted to make peace with Maria via mediation. My tracks are covered there, I don't lie, right? So we're clear on that. And I also wish to say that, and I'm aware it's 5 now, but I also wish to say that I would have a lot more respect for the LA if they gave me the truth. But I understand politics, PR. I've been educated a lot on my Facebook groups, okay? Former solicitors have advised me. I know exactly what to do now. But it's okay. It's okay. Because what I want to do is, yes, I think it's my lack of life experience. I can absolutely see the authorities' point, but no one understands the strength I have. Why do you think I can go through fire, through hell, and still be smiling? Because my mind is armoured from living with madness for years, schizophrenia. Before everyone else, these days everyone's got a mental health problem. Everyone's had that. Ever since COVID, because you cannot feel without experience or experiencing, right? And before it was understood, I've just got ADHD, and I know it's 501, but all these issues for many years, my mind's armoured. That's why I'm smiling at you both right now. You have no idea the strength I have. I'm willing to put on a fresh attitude for my son, and I want to be more involved in my son's life. I will do my tests for my son, whilst Maria's the main carer, and then perhaps maybe in 2 years or something, things might be different. Depends on my tests, correct? With a fresh attitude, right?
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Is that correct? Is that correct?
So, yeah, what we're proposing is that things, we've talked about what the contact would be, and that there would be this period of working with you with the hope that things will change, because that's the plan, is we would want things to change. We want the situation to be better than it is currently, and that better looks like Austin is living with Maria, and you're supporting her and having contact with her.
I would love to support.
That's what obviously we're all looking at down the line, and this is what we're saying is the steps that need to be taken to do that.
Before this commenced, let me take you back to Dr. Corson. She said, she commended me for finding a way. I'll say that again. She commended me for finding a way, right? Now, I don't care who a professional is, like whether it's good for me or bad for me. Professionals, just because they're professional doesn't mean they know everything, right? But she's right about that. Because I did find a way, and I did find a way, and in spite of my circumstances, so no one can take away the facts. My warmth for my son, no one can take away for facts. The amount of times I've been in that contact, nothing but love shown. I can go on and on. I'll save that for court in my statement. But I do want to be more involved, right? I'm about to prove a lot of people wrong, believe me. And you'll see the entire depths of this, not in a threatening way, but I'll show you how I can defend myself whilst keeping myself accountable. And you're going to see. And everybody's got me wrong. There's lies that have been told, and I just want bare minimum. You've given me that bare minimum, and I appreciate it. And yes, I'm looking forward to having a fresh attitude this year. And I know one more minute, I promise you, right? Because I know you said it's urgent. Maria, 72, she's going to need support. Let's be real, right? You cut the BS. She's going to need support, right? And I was supporting her before you guys were involved. I gave money. I took them to Cyprus, 7,500 I spent. Look at my house. You have no idea of my finances. I'm rich. I've got a very good job, right? Because with what I do, I'm a father coach. I keep people accountable as well with the court system. You know, I teach this. I'm very good at my job, okay? But I was always there for my son. Emotional immersion, psychologically, spiritually. I did what parents should be doing. That's the problem. Spirit irritates demons. Look how beautiful that boy's personality is. Maria can take some credit for that, but a lot of that came from me, I can assure you. And the last thing I wish to say is, she's 72, she's lost her daughter. So yeah, this is only fair and right, fair enough. Let her have her time. She's lost her daughter, and you know, it's only right she has us, and I can see that. I just want to support. That's all I'm asking for, and we've covered that in this meeting. So, thank you for listening and for setting this meeting up. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thanks very much. See you then. Okay.
All right. See you on Friday. Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
So, to anybody that's made it to the end of this video, thank you for consuming it, number one. Number two is compounded evidence stacking. When, you know, people don't understand. I've been to hell and back with the authorities and all the lies. And it's going to be revealed at a future date. On the 20th coming up, this will just be strictly contacts and why it was ceased. You're going to see yet more truths. But then on the 30th, when I really keep them accountable and explain my entire case and my final evidence, You're going to see the entire depths behind how they've conducted themselves towards me. Insert being falsely accused of murder, as you heard in the voice recording by the previous social worker, Abigail Doe. Insert having schizophrenia, which is bullshit. And insert shotgun offences. All lies. That feeds the propaganda. They want you to break. When they have nothing on you, these people, they have the power. And when they have nothing on you, they'll do anything to break you. And what I found out was that you have to be calm, you have to be stoic, and you have to you have to create leverage for yourself with compounded evidence stacking. And what that means is, as you heard from the voice recordings, I could sue the fuck out of them if I wanted to. But then what would that do if I keep filing all the time? However, I've got that as leverage. All of a sudden, they want to work with me now. They're actually saying, oh, hang on a second. Yeah, okay, even though they'll contact suspended, we are proposing that you're going to meet your boy in the community soon. You know, you're going to do online appointments first for 2 weeks. And then we're proposing that you, I thought it was after 6 months. They said, no, within that time frame. So it could be a month or two and I'll see him in person again, away from contact at the park or in a restaurant, as you heard from the voice recording. Why have they done that? They've done that because they're scared. They've come to the realization that they fucked up, and they have fucked up royally, right? And they, well, when you go through the legality aspects of being able to sue, all of a sudden, oh, Bella, you know, so it's like, it's leverage. And that's what I've done. That's what I'm trying to teach in these videos. To just record everything, document everything, know how to speak articulately, peacefully, whilst being respectfully aggressive, right? And just stack up and stack up and stack up and stack up and stack your evidence up, you know? And then this way you create leverage, which in turn means that you can get the results that you're after. A lot more to come. There's many more insights that I'm going to provide, with the next one being on the 20th. Sorry, I should say the next one being on the 10th. There's 3 more days. And that'll be the online. It's going to be an online court session, so I will be able to record it. And then the final hearing is on the 20th. And that's in person, so I will be unable to record that because I presume then you'll have to submit your phone because it's a court. And also, I'm scared to take, I'll take my rubbish phone with me, but I'm scared to take my recorded phone with me because they know I record everything and it could be seized, right? Who knows? You know how these sick fucks' minds operates. But anyway, the tide's shifting now. It's shifting a lot. So, yeah, man. Much love, much respect. You made it to the end. Thank you so much. And, yeah. To be continued on me and my son's comeback story, baby. Oh, yeah. Next recording will be on the 10th. Peace.